President Museveni and his host, Paul Kagame, walked into the makeshift press room at the president's office where local and foreign journalists were waiting. Before the main business of the day, Rwanda's Foreign Affairs Minister read the final communique of the 9th session of the Rwanda-Uganda Joint Permanent Commission.
Enhance cooperation through bilateral meetings and reciprocal visits. 2. To fast-track the East African community integration. 3. To consolidate the gains of the NRM and RPF liberation struggles for peace, stability, and development in the region and indeed on the African continent. 4. To exchange programs and share experiences on development and technology in order to ensure the socio-economic transformation for the peoples of the two sister states, for example, in information and communication technology, education, infrastructure, environment, agriculture modernization, and others. To the podiums, please, sir.
The two presidents were then ushered to the podium to take questions from the journalists. Of common interest was their take on the apparent frosty relations between the two states and whether this visit has mended that.
Along the way, there were some issues, some misunderstandings, which we have transcended.
For us, this visit was important, absolutely, because it continues to enable us to strengthen our relations, not only of the leaders of the two countries, but also the people of the two countries. And you don't expect visits like this to take place every day, but maybe they will take place regularly over time.
When pushed to give away some of what transpired during the tete-a-tete, this was President Kagame's offering.
Keep reading what has been put in the communique and keep reading the mood that has come out of all this.
You keep insisting that there is something else that was discussed that is not in the communique. Now, if it was discussed and it's not in the communique, then it is a chama.
President Museveni was also asked whether he had overstayed in power and was therefore finding a positive note to wind down his term in office.
Oh, there are so many things that, even if I die today, there are so many things that I will leave behind.
Sure.
So I didn't have to come to Rwanda in order to get something to leave behind. There are a lot of things that are there on the ground. Coming to Rwanda was to do with our relations with Rwanda.
President Kagame was then asked the common question whether his government was clamping down on the opposition and not opening up the political space, with the leading opposition leader, Victor Ingabire, still incarcerated.
So we have competitive politics, elections, we have a parliament that has different parties represented who have been competing openly and freely, and so on and so forth.
Now the press conference winding up the president's 4-day state visit to Rwanda, but it was not really just about talk, because 3 memorandums of understanding were signed, one on environment between the two ministries and also one on agriculture, plus the one on ICT. Maurice Mugisha, NTV, Kigali, Rwanda.